Welcome back to my channel. Before we get into today's explosive moment on Capitol Hill, make sure you're subscribed, because what you're about to see isn't just political theater. It's a window into how serious decisions about our financial future are actually being made, and why Americans need to pay attention now more than ever.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've listened with great interest today, and here's what I hear you saying. The four folks to my left, I hear you saying that digital assets are different. Digital assets hold great promise. Digital assets need special rules. I agree with that. The obvious question is, what should those rules be, and to what extent should we allow you to draft them? I've also heard some of you say that digital assets represent the next generation of the internet. Well, we let the current generation of the internet draft their own rules. And frankly, it looks like what we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample. Congress can't even agree on basic legislation dealing with privacy on the internet. How the hell are we going to tackle this? But I hear what you're saying. I hear Mr. Painter, as usual, if you follow him on social media, you know, all politicians are crooks. Very helpful. I want to direct most of my questions to Professor Massad. Is that how you say your name?
Massad.
Mr. Massad. I'm really worried we're going to get this wrong. We don't know, we in Congress and our staffs don't know as much as the professionals in digital assets know. And I don't see how we can possibly catch up. Tell me more about your idea of having the SEC. Well, first, I don't want to run out of time here, but why is the digital assets industry so scared of being regulated by the SEC?
Well, I think we need to step back, Senator.
Briefly, please.
They don't want everything treated as a security because they don't want that entire framework to apply. But that's also because the SEC did fail to try to customize its rules to adapt for this technology, and it should do that. And you've got leadership at the agencies now who are working on those things.
You're suggesting that we turn to two of our agencies, one of which is the SEC, and say, you have expertise. Before we take a crack at a bill, you come up with a bill, with rules, with regulations. Tell us how to do this. Because I hear you saying in some cases digital assets are commodities. In some cases, they're securities.
Congress needs to fill the gap, which is, if it's not a security, who's going to create a regulatory framework for it? So you do need to fill that. But these questions about exactly which is when is it a security, when is it not a security, how do we customize the rules, what should we do about DeFi, a lot of that should really be left to the agencies. You could establish some principles, but I wouldn't write detailed rules.
Have you looked, Professor, at Congressman Hill's legislation?
I have in detail.
What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of problems. I think it's 236 pages of regulatory arbitrage opportunities for creative lawyers, and I used to be one that did that kind of stuff.
Made a lot of money, did you?
I did, but...
Yeah. Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks.
And why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Senator, you need to
here's
focus
what
on
I'm
this
looking
bill.
right now.
You're doing this again. You did it the last
published a
hearing.
tweet that
You
said
need to
Senator
read the
Gillibrand's
bill.
role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I do.
And then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they've bought her?
I said, look at the campaign
You said
contributions.
they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
You called one of my
you were
colleagues a
quoting
crook,
what a Marxist in Chicago said
and
about
what
me.
evidence do you
make
have
no
that she's
sense.
a crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto
Do
industry.
you want to apologize
You
to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing legislation
want to
that
apologize
destroys
to
our
Senator
economy.
Gillibrand for calling her
you
a
are
crook?
distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
You are a
wasting.
majorly
Well, I think we are.
next
I
level
think we.
whack job.
I think we
Is
are.
this middle school, Senator?
Senators and witness. Thank you both.
I
for
think
your
you should
part-
apologize, Senator.
I think,
Gillibrand.
Senator, you're wasting our time. This is not middle school.
Thank you for your participation. I will say that Senator Smith is next. The floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So, not so long ago,
Today's hearing was
Thank you, Mr.
supposed to be a calm discussion about digital asset regulation, but instead
Thank you,
it spiraled into
Mr.
one of the most
Chairman.
unhinged exchanges we've seen all
I've
year.
listened with
And what it
great
really
interest
showed
today.
is the divide between
And,
two visions of government.
here's what I
One
hear
side
you
trying to
saying.
build a responsible, modern regulatory system,
four
and the other more
folks
interested in
to my
insults,
left.
distractions, and personal
I hear you
attacks
saying
than in protecting the American
that
people.
digital assets
Senator
are
John
different.
Kennedy opened with his usual folksy frustration,
assets hold
claiming
great
Congress
promise.
can't agree on basic internet privacy
digital
and can't
assets
possibly catch up
need
to the digital asset
special
industry,
rules.
but instead of focusing on actual
with that.
solutions, he shifted quickly into attacking Richard Painter
The obvious
personally.
question is, what
Painter,
should
a former
those
ethics
rules
chief
be?
under President George W. Bush,
And to what
came prepared to
extent
talk
should
about
we
the role
allow
of
you to draft
agencies like the SEC in regulating digital
I've also
assets.
heard some of you
Kennedy,
say
however,
that,
seemed more interested in taking
digital
swings at him
assets
than in
represent the next
understanding the
generation
policy
of
on
the
the
internet.
table. Painter laid out a clear, rational
we let
point
the current
that the
generation of
SEC
the
failed
internet
to
draft
adapt
their
its
own
rules for
rules.
emerging technology,
And,
that Congress
frankly,
must
it looks
establish
like
broad
what
principles,
we got as
and
a
that
result looks
detailed
like somebody
customization
knocked
should
over
come
a
from
urine
agencies
sample.
with expertise. This is exactly the
Congress
kind of
can't even
measured,
agree
evidence-based governance
on
Democrats
basic
push for,
legislation
regulation
dealing with
shaped by
privacy on the
experts,
internet.
not lobbyists
How
or
the hell are we
political
gonna tackle
grandstanding.
this?
But instead of engaging with the
But I
substance,
hear what you're
Senator
saying.
Kennedy pivoted into accusing
hear
Painter of
Mr.
calling
Painter,
Senator
as usual,
Kirsten
if you
Gillibrand
follow him
a
on
crook.
social media, you
Painter
know.
repeatedly corrected
Yeah,
him.
all
He didn't
politicians
call
are
her a
crooks.
crook.
Very
He
humble.
pointed out something real, the massive flow of crypto industry donations
I
across
want
Capitol
to
Hill, which should raise questions for
most of
any
my
responsible
questions to
lawmaker,
Professor
Democrat or
Masad.
Republican.
Is that how you
But
say your
Kennedy
name?
twisted a legitimate
Masad.
concern
Mr.
about
Masad.
transparency into a personal attack, trying to wedge division where none existed.
I'm really
And
worried
that's
we're
when the
gonna get this
hearing went
wrong.
off the rails. Kennedy pressed, distorted, accused, and escalated
We
until
don't
Painter
know.
finally snapped,
We in Congress
calling the senator a
and our
whack
staffs
job.
don't know
At that point, the room
as
devolved,
much as the
senators calling for
professionals
order,
in digital
witnesses
assets
frustrated, and the chairman reminding them all that this was not middle school.
and I don't see how we
What the
can
moment
possibly
revealed
fix it.
was bigger than two men trading insults. It showed the consequences of
tell me
treating
more
regulation
about
like a
your
performance
idea
instead of a duty. While Democrats in the
having
room
the
tried to steer the
SEC
conversation back to real issues,
Well,
how to classify
first, I don't
digital
wanna run out of
assets,
time,
how to fill regulatory
why
gaps,
is the
how to prevent the next
digital
financial
assets industry
catastrophe,
so scared of
Kennedy's
being
approach was to
regulated by the
undermine,
SEC?
distract, and provoke.
Well,
And this
I
is
think we need to
exactly
step
why
back,
Democrats
Senator,
continue to
briefly.
argue for strong, clear,
Please.
professional oversight of
They don't
emerging
want everything
technologies.
treated as a security
Because when
because
lawmakers
they don't
reduce
want that
hearings to
entire
personal
framework to
fights,
apply,
the
but
only
that's
people who
also
benefit
because
are
the
powerful
SEC did
industries
fail
eager
to
to
try
avoid
to
rules
customize its
entirely.
rules
The public
to adapt
loses.
for this
Investors
technology, and it
lose.
should do that.
Everyday
And you've
Americans
got
lose.
leadership at
Digital
the agencies
assets
now
aren't going
who are
away.
working on
The
those
question is
things.
whether Congress will rise to
you're
meet the
suggesting
challenge,
that
or
we-
whether
we
moments like
turn
this will keep
two of our
overshadowing the urgent
agencies,
work
one
that
of
needs
which
to
is
be
the
done.
SEC.
If you want more in-depth
say, you
political
have
breakdowns that cut
expertise.
through noise and get to what
Before
actually
we take a
matters,
crack at
make
a
sure you
bill,
like this video,
you come
subscribe,
up
and
with a
turn on
bill with
notifications.
rules,
Your engagement
regulations.
helps us keep
Tell us
producing
how to do
independent
this.
commentary that holds
Because
power
I hear you saying
accountable.
in some